No. No is the answer to the question. Conte out? ? Yeah, that's the answer to that. So before you all dislike the video, we actually don't want Conte out. But it's the question that so many people have been, asking, and we're like, what the bloody hell is going on? But anyway, hello there, guys. Welcome back to 100% Chelsea for our hangover review of Crystal Palace 2, Chelsea 1. Not a great day. Not a great day at all. As you can see, I'm with Brandon. You want to say hello?
Hello. It's been a while since I've appeared on a video, apart from yesterday's fan cam, but yeah.
Yeah, it is what we get. And now that no one will mute someone, do you want to plug yourself before we start?
Yes, look at my channel. It's down here. Yeah, I've changed the name of it. It's Brandon Morgan. I'm doing a series on Alvaro Morata. And then there's going to be another video out possibly tomorrow, maybe Tuesday on my series. So make sure you go check that out. And there'll be another one after that this week as well. So go check it out.
Decent, yeah. Also check out my social media links, which you can see somewhere down here. Louse5007 on Instagram and Twitter. But now actually getting into the hangover review, talking about yesterday's games. Obviously, a lot of people have been speaking. A lot of people have been watching our stuff. A lot of people have been watching Eunice's stuff, who, in my opinion, was very critical. Also, Louis was very critical. Not that they shouldn't be, but it's obviously the question that I want to talk about with Brandon, basically. Are people overreacting already? Because as much as it was a very bad defeat, it was a defeat. And before that, we lost to City, which, you can lose to. So it's just one bad defeat so far. Yes, we lost to Burnley, but that was a bit unlucky with 2 sending-offs. But, just the question I want to put out there. Obviously, the Conte out thing, I found basically answer for both me and Brandon because we think that's ridiculous. But I just want to say a quick thing to that. So to everyone that is Conte out, if any one of you that's watching is Conte out, why? 2 years ago, were you the one saying Mourinho out as well? Do you really think the 2 managers of Mourinho's and Conte's qualities can fuck up that badly in such quick succession of 2 years' time? Do you really think that's the manager's fault then, if 2 managers of their quality have such big issues inside 2 years? I don't. That doesn't make any sense in my opinion. So I think there's something else going on. It's not very difficult to explain really what's going on because we don't have any players. But, me, Brandon, Louis, we've all been saying this all summer long. We need players. But now we go sign Morata, go sign Drinkwater, and we go sign Zappacosta. Have we signed anyone else? Oh, yeah, Rudiger. What have we really done? Caballero, right, you play against Forest, great. We don't have enough players. Yeah. That's the main issue. Like, you can blame Conte for playing Willian all you want, but at the end of the day, it's not going to be that big a difference between Willian and Pedro. The big difference is Conte is out. We don't have anyone to play instead. We have Morata out. We have Batshuayi to play instead, who, doesn't really know how to play football, apparently. Because, it's just mental. Before I, keep rambling on by myself, you have a few things to say, Brandon.
I just want to address a comment that I've literally just seen from Luke O'Mahony. I'm not okay. Do I repeat all the words because it will get the video demonetized? Oh well. Shut up, you stupid fucking something. Fuck off, Brandon, you fat fucking wanker. I'm a Chelsea fan. Shut the fuck up with Conte out, you cunt. Disgrace to the club. Let's just make one thing clear here. I'm not Conte out. I've tweeted this yesterday. If you follow me on Twitter, which I suggest you do, which is also, down here, you will see my opinions of yesterday. You will see how much of a disgrace it was. I'm not Conte out regardless, because the problem doesn't lie with Conte. Conte, well, right, he may have messed up on his starting 11. He maybe shouldn't have put David Luiz and Cahill straight back into the squad. He maybe shouldn't have put Willian into that squad. He probably shouldn't have put Batshuayi up front, but then again, we'd be questioning why he wouldn't be putting Batshuayi up front. But there's nothing wrong with what Conte is doing compared to what the players are doing. The players are the one that are underperforming. Willian in 65 minutes than Zappacosta did in 45. And Zappacosta was the more defensive player. He put in more crosses. He attacked the defence more. He posed more of a threat attacking-wise than Willian did the whole game. Masonda, when he came on, that's what we've been calling for. All right, he made some stupid comments during the week. But you can tell why, because he's frustrated. And yesterday was his type of game to shine. All right, he missed an opportunity, but he's a young player. He's going to learn from that. He'll stick those away like nothing. Batshuayi, I mean, he can't be classed as a striker with his attributes at the moment. I feel sorry for him because you can see he tries. Like Lauren said, and like he's tweeted out many times, he tries. But how many more times is he going to try? That's it. You've had your fair share of chances. It's time to let a youth player have a go, or let someone like Eden Hazard play in a false nine. And don't even get me started on Hazard yesterday. I mean, anyone defending his performance yesterday, you really need to rewatch it. All right, yeah, he wasn't dropping in to get the balls. That's his fault. That's not anyone else's fault for not finding him in those positions. Watch games against Arsenal. Watch games against Spurs. He'll drop in and win that ball. He'll want to win that ball. Yesterday, with two players of Conte and Morata's caliber out, Hazard should have taken that game by the scruff of its neck and absolutely run rings around it. But he didn't. And it's worrying to see, because if he's one of the best players in the league, why can't he do it? Sanchez does it for Arsenal all the time. Harry Kane does it for Tottenham. All right, Tottenham have more of a support with Eriksen and Dele Alli and all those players as well. But when Tottenham need Harry Kane, he'll pull a goal out. He'll pull something special out. Other teams have got their go-to players and they'll do something. Lukaku for United at the moment, scoring goals left, right and centre.
Right.
All right, they're more of a team.
Give us a second quickly. To Madineni Akil, if that's how you pronounce your name. Sorry, mate. No, the title is neither sarcastic nor what we believe. It's a question that the fans have been asking, and a lot of fans have been asking, and a question that we want to talk about and give a reply to. And if we just put our answer into the title, no one's going to bloody click it. That's sadly how YouTube works. So, you know, you have to do it like that. If you don't like it,
yeah.
Why is there many dislikes? Well, because of the title. We're cheeky. But, you know, we have to do it like that because, you know, we don't want Conte out in the slightest. Neither of us. None of us at the channel do that. None of us want him out. But, you know, it's a question that has to be asked. And that's basically why, you know, we're putting in the title like that. Do you want to go on, or do you want me to reply to what you said, basically?
I don't know. I was finished anyway, but I just also want to say we're getting a lot of hate in the comments today, me and you, and that's fine. We know that comes with doing this, but we are also giving a lot of fans who feel the same way as us a voice, because a lot of people can't say what they say on a public platform like this, and we're just, you know, don't say never blame Hazard again. Hazard was awful yesterday. End of. Yeah, I mean, yeah, we were saying this before the stream started, weren't we, Lawrence? About how people defend Hazard yesterday is completely ludicrous, because if he played well, no one would be criticising him. He made a couple of decent runs, but I mean, there was nothing else other than that. Yeah, you can go off on one now. I'm going to read these comments. Brandon out, great. Here we go.
Well, so basically on Eden Hazard, there's a few things I have to say. I get that he's coming back from injury. I get that, you know, William wasn't great. I get that Batshuayi wasn't great. But, and there is a big difference for me. First of all, the main difference is Hazard is a lot better than those two. So when you're a lot better, even your bad performances should be a lot better than the other one's bad performances, if you will. And also, Willian, yes, he was bad. Batshuayi, yes, he was bad. But they were bad on the ball. Hazard was never on the ball. You can't be that bad without the ball. But isn't it bad that you're not with the ball? And yes, you can blame the other players for playing badly and not finding him. But, you know, if you're not getting found as the star man of your team, shouldn't you change something about your positioning? You know, in a game like this, like exactly like Brendan said, he is our best player. He's arguably, just ability-wise, the best player in this league. He's not showing it, but he's ability-wise quite possibly the best player in this league. Why is he not stepping up in games that we need him in most? That's the big question here. It's not about, yes, he's not playing well all the time, but he needs to step up when we need him the most. That's what the big-name players do. That's what the big-name players, you know, that's what you need them for. Because otherwise, you might as well play Charlie Musonda instead. Because, yes, he isn't as good as Hazard, but maybe he puts in more of an effort, you know? Because what's the point of playing Hazard then if he's not going to try properly? That's my issue. He didn't look like, to me, he didn't try. It's not because he didn't care. Hazard keeps saying that he plays for fun. Hazard keeps playing that, his aim isn't to win a Ballon d'Or. He doesn't mind if he doesn't score. It's good that he doesn't mind if he doesn't score, but setting up or whatever. But, if we're losing 2-1 and the other ones aren't scoring, how about you come to the idea that you start scoring? When no one else is scoring and we need a goal, it can be you that scores, mate. It doesn't have to be, an own goal by the other team. It's ridiculous how people are defending him. There's no defense to that performance of not trying. That's the issue. He wasn't seen to fail as much as Willian yesterday because he didn't try. You can't fail without trying. Obviously not. Hazard, yes, he needs to be more selfish. People are saying it. Hazard needs to take more responsibility on himself. And the next thing I want to talk about, Louis talked about it in his post-match rant, if you will. He said there's no passion in this team. Something's missing. Well, but at the same time, everyone's saying drop Cahill. What? Yes, Cahill might not be as good as Christensen. I think he's about as good as Rudiger, but I'm pretty sure I stand alone on that. Anyway, but you want passion, and then you take the only very passionate player out of the team. Like, don't tell me Gary Cahill doesn't have leadership. He might not be a great defender, but he does have leadership. We won the league with him as the on-pitch captain last year. Can't have been that bad. And we had poor moments back then as well. It's not like it was all guns blazing all year long. So I don't get that combination of arguments in the slightest. You can't argue for there's no passion, but you want Cahill to be dropped. That doesn't make any sense. Firstly, you want passion for an English club. You should have an Englishman in there. Not saying that you need an Englishman at all times to perform well. No. But to get the most out of your team when it's just about fighting because it's just not going, just not working, you need a man with passion in there. And everyone's working for, saying we need passion, we need this, we're missing that. You can't drop him then. That doesn't make any sense. I agree to an extent that we're missing something. Not sure whether it's passion, but it's leadership on, in the team. Conte can do as much as he wants. But, obviously you're going to feel the effect of someone like John Terry leaving. Just because it's happening now, it shouldn't be a surprise to us. It shouldn't be a surprise that we're going to struggle now that the whole of the old guard is gone. Drogba's gone, Lampard's gone, Terry's gone, Jack is gone, Ashley Cole's gone. Did you really think we were not going to struggle without those? Like, I'm sorry, but how long have you been supporting Chelsea if you don't understand that? Of course we're going to struggle. Of course. But if we always play well, you won't see it that much. But once you start struggling, that's when you see it. But, I agree with Brandon that Willian shouldn't play. But I still think that he tried harder than Hazard yesterday. It didn't work, but he tried harder anyway. He was dispossessed before the second goal. Shouldn't have been. But why was he in that position anyway? Because other players weren't in their right position, because that's not where Willian was meant to be, in that position. So, yes, he made a mistake to be dispossessed in the first place, but someone else made a mistake for Willian even to be there.
Well, I also have seen a couple of comments on here. The first one is Chelsea development side would have beaten Crystal Palace, and I think that you can't discredit Crystal Palace from the way they performed yesterday. I mean, they were on a 7-game losing streak. They hadn't scored a goal in 7 games. Especially coming up against the champions, it was going to be the hardest game that probably we would have played at this point in the season, in my opinion, because they haven't scored a goal, they haven't won a game, they haven't even drawn a game. Well, have they? No, they haven't. They've lost, haven't they? They've lost every game. Of course that they were going to try harder against us because they were going to want to cause an upset against us. They have a good record against us, of when it comes to upsets. I think that it's completely unfair to say that our development side would have beaten Crystal Palace, because that's just not true. If our first team can't beat Crystal Palace, then our development side we're going to be nowhere near that. And there's also another comment saying, Brandon, read this. Do you think the comparisons to Messi and Ronaldo are unfair when Hazard does bad because La Liga is a lot easier? I kind of agree where you're coming from. I know what you're saying. I think it's unfair on him because La Liga is an easier league, so to speak. You've got teams that won't cause as much upset as Stoke will, as Crystal Palace may do, as West Brom may do. But at the same time, that's when Hazard needs to show his class. And when his bad days are bad, they need to be better than an average player's bad game, because otherwise he's not going to be able to break into those Barcelona and Real Madrid teams if he wants to become one of the best players in the world. if he's performing on a good standard at one of his bad performances in the Premier League, then it just shows that he's a class above everyone else, because that is a hard thing to do. Has a bad game, it's all over the back page of the press. When Hazard has a bad game, it's exactly the same. Where was Hazard? And it's right, because he deserves. He needs to be. If he's a focal point of the main of the first team, he is the one that we rely on all the time. He should be pulling us out of certain situations.
No, I completely agree. I think that people need to understand. I'm not sure if I've said it, I don't know, weird, so people don't understand. I'm not saying we were bad because Hazard was bad. Everyone, in my opinion, except Fabregas, was bad. But he is the best player, so he should be the one dragging us out of it.
Interesting. I wouldn't have said Fabregas was good at all if you would have seen if a lot of people would have seen
I know. A lot of people said so. Like Chris said it as well. Eunice said it as well. I thought he was the only player that actually proper tried. Anyway, and we talk about that. But let me just talk about this again. I'm not saying we were bad because Hazard was bad. I get that you can have a bad team. A bad game, sorry. But all I'm saying is, when have we had a bad game and struggled a lot, and then Hazard just comes up with this moment of magic? He did against Spurs in the Cup semi-final when he came on. We were struggling, and he did change the game. He did score a goal, and he did, kind of just laid it off for Matic, but he officially assisted Matic's goal. He did change it in that game. But other than that, when did Hazard change a game we were struggling? He is an incredible player. Everyone knows that. If you've watched our channel enough, you know that we all love Hazard, that we know how good he is. But just because you're that good doesn't give you the permission to just have off days and be immune to criticism. That's not how it works. I don't even want to compare him to Messi. But Messi is that standout player for Barcelona, for Argentina. Messi went to Ecuador and dragged his team, who have a star-studded team, but none of them performed. And he dragged them to the World Cup basically by himself. I watched that game, and that was one of the best footballing performances by a single player that I've ever seen. And that is what you need your best player to do. Of course, Hazard isn't as good as Messi. And we didn't need him to score a hat-trick. We needed him to score one at least, maybe two preferably. But we needed him to try harder. If he tried and he didn't work, everyone has a bad day. My issue, as I tweeted yesterday, was that I thought he didn't try hard enough. We had one or two moments where he tried to dribble, then he was looking for the foul, got fouled, and we didn't do anything from the free kick. And that was the only two moments. And then Zappacosta pulled in a very good cross, and Hazard almost got to the tap-in. But why didn't he get to it? Because he didn't commit his body to slide in there. He just ran in there. If he slid in, he probably would have scored that. So that's another thing about the commitment, about how much he's trying. And that's my issue. He didn't try. If he tries and it doesn't work, so be it. It happens. But you can't not try. I get that, Crystal Palace isn't the nicest place to go. It's raining. It's not going well. Your best teammate isn't there, Morata. Conte isn't there, who helps you out so much. I get that. But, just pull through then. But, I think we have to basically talk about that, how much we miss. And that basically goes hand in hand with another topic, depth. How much did we miss Conte? Because I think missing Conte was the main issue, both defensively and attacking-wise. That was the main issue why we struggled so much. Because how can it be that we missed one player that 2 years ago no one had ever even heard of? We can miss him so much. How does that work? We're Chelsea Football Club here. We're not some club that has one good player. I mean, we shouldn't be. How is it? I don't understand. I mean, I get because he's that good, but Drinkwater's injured. Not that Drinkwater would properly replace Conte. Well, a friend of mine disagreed. But you know what I'm saying? It's bad that we miss Conte so much. And he will be out for a while. What are we going to do?
I mean, what were we all saying all summer? The fact that we haven't signed enough players, and then we lose Morata, Kante in the same week. Moses is now gone, hamstring injury as well. Lucky enough, we signed Zappacosta. He's gone. Who have we got to replace him? Kennedy's got the same problem as Musonda. He's not physically fit enough, not physically strong enough. Whereas Alonso, he's a bit taller, got a bit more strength. All right, he may not be fantastic defensively, but he does the job. And like you were saying, Lauren, about passion, he's one that doesn't stop. Yesterday, being in that away end, the ball was continually given to Alonso in the second half. And he was continually making runs. Even if he didn't get the ball afterwards, continually making the runs, the right runs, balls into the box. And the same with Zappacosta, you know? I think it's important to recognise the wing backs how yesterday they played. They played quite well. And a lot of people haven't given them recognition for that. Zappacosta and Alonso played well yesterday. In my opinion, you may disagree. But I think that a lot of players are going to struggle coming back from this because it's a big downer on a lot of things. Losing to a side that haven't scored a goal before yesterday's game is a big thing. And like I was saying earlier, how do Gary Cahill and David Luiz get straight back into that team? How do they get straight back into that team when Rudiger's been playing so well and Christensen's been doing fantastic? It doesn't make sense. Honestly, it doesn't make sense. We go back to the passion. We're talking about Hazard not being all that passionate and not playing for the shirt all the time because he's not too fussed about winning a Ballon d'Or. Charlie Musonda came on for 15, 20 minutes and we need more players like him. Like I said in my fan cam yesterday, we need more players like him because he knows what it's like to put the shirt on, like to come through the academy and play for the team. And we don't have many players that can actually say that they know how to play for the team, play for the badge, apart from maybe Gary Cahill, Azpilicueta, Thibaut Courtois. At the moment, not many other players. Pedro looked a lot brighter than Willian ever did yesterday when he came on.
He did, but at the same time, he didn't do anything either. He was more active, but no end product.
He had a shot when he came on, and I thought, here we go, Pedro's gonna kick off, and he didn't.
Yeah.
So that was.
Can I just quickly, basically respond to what you said about why did they go straight back into the team? Well, I mean, I get your argument about why does Cahill get straight back into the team. David Luiz gets straight back into the team because he's the best defender. You know, when John Terry was injured, was suspended for 3 games a few years ago, he went straight back into the team. Last year didn't, fair enough, but that was when he was 35. When he was in his prime, he got straight back into the team because he was the best defender. And obviously, a manager just has his opinions on that. I get that David Luiz wasn't, I don't think he was bad yesterday. Yes, he maybe could have done slightly better for the second goal, but a lot of people could have done slightly better for their second goal. But what I don't get yesterday is why people criticize Cahill so much. What has Cahill done wrong yesterday? He wasn't involved in either of the goals. He crucially deflected a shot by Zaha that we didn't go 2-1 down much earlier in the game. And, his passing wasn't particularly bad. It wasn't, nothing special, but it wasn't him making mistake after mistake, So I get that he's not as good, but yesterday he didn't show that he's not that good. Cahill was our best defender against Atletico Madrid in one of the biggest wins, that we've had away from home. Well, I get that, he's not been playing well in some games, but I don't think he was bad against Man City. I don't think he was bad against Atletico, and I don't think he was bad yesterday. I think people are scapegoating him way too much, way too much.
100%.
And it's
100%. Instead of actually looking at the club issues that we've got going on, all right, we've got issues further up with Emanalo, with Marina. All right, we know that. But look at the team. We have issues at other areas apart from Gary Cahill. In my opinion, Azpilicueta's dropped a level this season.
Mm-hmm.
Hate for saying that. But he has not been the player he was last season. I don't know why. He's still a very good player, but he's not as consistent as he was last season. Has been up and down this season. He's had good games, but he's also been a big liability. Been sent off twice. Yesterday was an all right performance, but he could have done a lot better. Alonso, in my opinion, has been probably one of the most consistent players so far this season.
It's quite funny because I thought Alonso was one of the worst players yesterday. It's hilarious. I think what stuck in my mind more is the first half, and I just remember 4, 5, 6 misplaced passes, miscontrols of the ball in like a space of 15 minutes. And that just frustrated me so much. Although in the second half, he wasn't that bad, but he didn't do anything productive either. And he didn't defend their counterattacks particularly well either. So he was decent in the second half, like say average in my opinion, but he was very bad in the first half.
I think he did. He showed a lot more promise than a lot more spark than a couple of the wingers that we had on did.
Yeah.
And that's what we needed in that second half. We needed spark from everyone on the pitch, and it didn't come from anywhere really. Moses this season has been pretty average for me. He's been all right since Zappacosta signed. He's obviously places in jeopardy, and he's kind of played a bit better. Just not consistent at all. It's annoying because he is a very, very good player, but he's more of an impact player, and that's what he's trying to mold into a starting player, and he's just not at the moment. Bakayoko, I think it's unfair to judge him based on yesterday's performance alone. Good for us when he has started and played, but I think the problem is that he was heavily relied on yesterday, because if Fabregas did lose the ball, Fabregas isn't a defensive player, so it was left to Bakayoko to get back. And there was a couple of stupid fouls. There was a couple of poor passes. There was a couple of, could have done differently. But he wasn't the main problem yesterday.
Can I just ask what issues you had with Fabregas yesterday? Because like I said, I thought, he hit the bar at the start of the second half. He had a free kick that got very close to going in. He played the bar pass to Musanda's chance, which was our last chance in the game, which Musanda arguably should have done better with. Difficult chance, but should have done better with. He hit the bar. He created a major chance in the second half. He assisted the goal for Bakayoko with his corner, and he played a lot of over the top balls that would have found their man, but was a tiny bit offside. It happens. The pass not timed perfectly, but that's difficult, and the run not timed perfectly, and Palace defending very well. So that's what I don't get. Why I get that he's defensively great, but that's just not his job.
From what I was watching yesterday, especially in the second half, all right, the first half he may have been okay. Second half, the amount of misplaced passes was ridiculous. His quality, he shouldn't be misplacing 5-10 yard passes if he plays a 40-yard pass, which is a good one. His attitude once he lost the ball, he just let them basically walk past him and let Bakayoko do the run. And that's what I mean about defensively. He's not fantastic.
Yeah, but we know that's what he's like.
That's what I mean.
It's a bit like saying, when you're gonna put, I don't know, Gary Cahill on the wing, he's not gonna be very good, is he? Because that's not what he's gonna be good at.
No, I understand that, but I'm also saying if he's playing in that midfield role where Conte has been so vital, he's not playing in an attacking role. He needs to adapt defensively as well, and that's where he's not. That is not what he's doing. He's played at Barcelona, Arsenal, and Chelsea now, and you're telling me that at either of those two previous clubs, he hasn't played in a more defensive role. I think he's played a more defensive role at Barcelona before, and I think they got exploited.
He played everything at Barcelona, didn't he?
Got a little bit exploited when that happened. Can I just address as well, Tony, for I think the third time I've spoken to you today. I didn't say Azpilicueta has been sent off. I said David Luiz has been sent off twice. So get your facts right, mate. And if you're actually serious about going to support Man City, if you see another loss, then just leave now, mate. I think that I don't know. The main problem with Fabregas yesterday is when we were sitting in that away end in the second half and we needed things to happen, it looked like every time he got the ball, it was sideways or looking backwards, or it was a poor misplaced pass, or, all right, he played a couple of decent over-the-top balls. Musanda's one with his Musanda's chance and all that sort of stuff. But all the simple stuff that would have led to a build-up play that could possibly have been a goal, he didn't get right yesterday. And I'm saying Hazard didn't get it right either. But
you're saying that at the same time, though, you're saying he let Bakayoko do all the defensive work, but you're just saying it now. He was left to do all the attacking work as well. When Crystal Palace clearly set up well, when as we said, Hazard didn't drop back. When Willian dropped back, he lost the ball. So it doesn't make it easy for you. Right, who do I pass it to? He loses the ball all the time. I can't pass it to him because he's in the middle of nowhere. Yeah. And right, what do I do then? Either I play a long, difficult pass, or I play a short, difficult pass because no one else is actually stood right next to me to just play an easy pass. Yeah. So I get that he misplaced a few passes. I do understand that. But at the same time, if he scores the goal that he hit against the bar, if he assists the goal that goes against Charlie Musonda, or ends up for Charlie Musonda, we're saying how quality is. Those were good passes, good things he did. And, he had one chance where who laid it off, but he skied it a little bit. But he was just, he looked angry with himself, right? He looked like he messed it up, right? Fuck's sake, what am I doing? That kind of thing. And I didn't see that of any other player. That's also a part of why I don't want to criticize him too much, because I feel like I keep saying it. I'm sorry, people hate it when I say it, but I didn't think Hazard tried, for example. But I thought Fabregas tried, and not tried completely unsuccessfully, like Willian, for example, but he tried, and it was something coming out of it, and was angry with himself when it didn't work.
No, I
and Leon, please stop saying Conte's gone. He's not gone.
He's not. Yeah, exactly. There's a couple of comments. Brandon, were you upset? Don't you work for Palace? Yeah, I work for Palace. They pay my wages, but I support Chelsea. It's money at the end of the day, and I literally live 5 minutes from Selhurst Park, so why would I not work there? Someone else said, Brandon, what about Loftus-Cheek, Abraham and Zuma? Loftus-Cheek, he hasn't really had a start in place at Palace yet because his injuries have kind of been in the way. But now Zaha's back for Palace, and Loftus-Cheek is now fit and ready to play next week. I think that they'll start pushing on. I think Loftus-Cheek will get a few.
He hit the post against City as well, didn't he?
He did. Abraham obviously banging in 2 goals yesterday. He's got 5 and 10 for Swansea.
Quickly, I want to talk about that as well. People saying, bring Abraham back. He's that good. Well, but it's not that easy. No. Just because he's working well for Swansea. If he was at Chelsea now, and except that Morata misses 1 or 2 games now, he wouldn't be playing.
Yeah.
So what's the point in having him here when he's developing very well at Swansea?
Yeah.
Be glad that we're developing an 18, 19-year-old player at Swansea in the Premier League that's actually doing well, but can actually go to Chelsea and be good enough to start games for one day if we don't fuck it up like we did with Lukaku. It's the exact same that we did with Lukaku when we sent him to West Brom. It's the exact same thing. And it would have worked perfectly if we kept him. It would have been incredible. So now we're trying again. Whether it will work or not, we'll find out. But we have to try. And it's a perfect loan move to Swansea. It's easy to say bring it back and whatnot. No, what we should have done is sign Llorente. Because there's no point having Morata, who's 24, having Batshuayi, who's 23, and having Tammy Abraham was 18. You need some experience somewhere on the pitch.
Yeah.
We lost John Terry already. We have only Cahill that's an old player. Fabregas is kind of old. Well, no one else has experience. Experience in the game, yes, because they've been playing at a top level for a while, but not as in a lot of experience dealing with, kickbacks, if you will. There's just a lot of things, and Llorente is a perfect second striker. He's completely different type of striker to Batshuayi. We keep criticizing Batshuayi for not being able to control the ball, for not being able to win a header. That's exactly what Llorente would be doing if we had him. He's not the best striker in the world. He's nowhere near as good as Morata. He's nowhere near as good as Diego Costa. But he's a striker that does something that helps, the other team around him more than what Batshuayi does. Batshuayi is a poacher. Batshuayi would be a more than decent striker in a 2 up top. But he can't play on his own. And what is Conte meant to do? But if, instead of playing him, what else does he do? Everyone kept slagging him off for not bringing Batshuayi on against City. I said it at the time. I know why he didn't. It didn't work. But who's to say that it would have worked with Batshuayi? Who's to say that it didn't work with Batshuayi against Palace? And that's a lot. But at the same time, I said that in my review yesterday as well. When the whole team is playing long balls to Batshuayi and they see it's not working, why are they still playing long balls to Batshuayi then?
Yeah. I know. And also, the last player that was mentioned there is Zuma. I want to say something about him because yesterday Stoke lost 7-2. And there was pictures of him afterwards, actually in tears, and his teammates had to go and console him. That's passion. That is wanting to win every game, no matter what team you come up against. And he's at Stoke, and he's acting like that, reacting like that. And that is a big positive to show, because Zuma may not have been fantastic for us last season when he played, but that's because he was coming back from a big injury. And it is a very mentally challenging thing. A mentally challenging thing coming back from an injury that long, that severe, and it has a massive impact on your body. Now, with Kurt Zouma, he's, speaking to Bear Pit TV, Louis spoken to them before and things like that, and they've said how good Zouma has been for them. He may not be dropping 10 out of 10 performances every week, but you don't expect him to at Stoke. He's dropping consistent performances, and that is a lot more reassuring, because if he's playing like that against big teams, because they've played already, all right, they've played Chelsea, but he didn't play because obviously he was unavailable. They've played Manchester United, they've played Man City, have they played Arsenal?
I don't know. Yes, they have. Didn't Stoke beat Arsenal?
Yeah, I think so as well. So, they've played big teams, and Zouma has been at the core of the defence. And it's reassuring, because if he's coming back and playing like that after this season, we've got Christensen, Rudiger, Azpilicueta, David Luiz, Cahill, and Zouma, who are all possible defenders, central defenders. All right, Cahill may not be on the books next season if he does go, and we've got so much good young talent. But looking at it from an actual perspective of being realistic, 6 very good defenders to choose from there, and it will only get better under Conte, in my opinion. Oh, what's this?
City don't have experienced players. What? They've got in the starting 11, maybe not. They've got Aguero, who's close to 30. They've got Company. They've got Bravo. Not saying that they're all incredible or playing, but they have in the squad. I'm not saying Llorente should start instead of Morata if we had him. I'm saying in the team they're important. Anyway, if people are basically starting to watch now, again, the title doesn't mean that we want Conte out. We don't want Conte out at all. But, kind of want to draw people in it. We can deal with dislikes. But yeah, we don't want Conte out. And I want to have a quick, basically, discussion about the whole Conte situation again. Because, like I said, just in the beginning, people blamed Mourinho. Some people said Mourinho out, especially after he was gone and it started working. People said, right, maybe it was the right idea, especially last year. A lot of people said, it was a good idea to get rid of Mourinho and this and that and this and that. And now we're in the same situation and we're starting to blame Conte. Why? Why would it be the fault of 2 very, very good managers? 2 years in succession. There is other stuff going on. We know that Conte didn't get the players he wanted. We know that we don't have enough players because Conte was out, Drinkwater was out. We only had 2 players left. And clearly not the players to change something up. And the main issue is obviously with the striker. Kante is difficult to replace, but we don't even have a half-decent backup striker because, in my opinion, Batshuayi on his own isn't half-decent as a backup striker. And, I think it's ridiculous that people are blaming Conte for any of this. Yes, his team selection might not be right all the time. Yes, maybe he shouldn't be playing Willian. Yes, maybe, he should start Christensen. Yes, maybe he should try Christensen as the left-sided centre-back when he's only been playing him as the central centre-back. I don't know. Obviously, I don't watch Christensen every day in training. I don't know that much about, 3 at the back as much Conte does. He studied that in Italy for years and years and years. We're only really getting to see it for the, 14 months now, 12 months, basically. We've been seeing this 3 at the back of Chelsea properly. I don't know why he doesn't think Christensen is suited to playing as a left-sided centre-back because it's only Cahill already got to play there. I think if Christensen was suited for that, I think Conte knows that he's arguably better than Cahill. But he just only sees Christensen as a replacement to David Luiz. I don't know why that is, but that's the case, and that's why Christensen isn't playing. Might be, a certain explanation for it. I don't know. But you can't... Why are you blaming Conte for God's sake? You think, what is he doing? And one thing I want to quickly say before you can basically say your thing. I said it before even, a long time ago now. I think when we lost in the Community Shield, that when we're losing, Conte seems very lethargic on the sideline. Doesn't seem as ecstatic and doesn't seem as, commanding and telling his players what to do as when we're winning. And Eunice even said it in his video yesterday. I keep plugging Eunice. Eunice, we need a new plug. I think I kind of got it now when I watched his post-match press conference, not just his post-match interview, but his post-match press conference. The guy's distraught when we lose. The guy is more of a fan than we realize. He is our manager, but his character, his personality is a lot like a fan. And if you think about it, there's 2 types of fans. One, sits there on the stand and starts insulting and screaming at everyone and everything on that pitch. And the other one sits there basically in disbelief, thinking of, what the bloody hell are we doing? And that's what Conte is, in my opinion. Because he just stands there when everything's going to the shit. He's just standing there and I'm like, what am I going to do? And then he's obviously thinking about, right, well, what can I do? He can't shout, orders on the pitch when he still has to figure out what to do because none of the team are doing what he actually told them to. Clearly not. Because Conte clearly didn't tell them to lose 2-1 to Palace. So, I mean, I don't know if you want anything, want to say anything to that, but I just think Conte is a very passionate man, but more passionate than Mourinho was. Mourinho was passionate for Chelsea, but Conte is a different kind of passionate. He feels with the team, and as much as it looks weird, a lot of fans are the same way as him on the stand. That's why it goes more quiet when you're losing, because not everybody can bring themselves to shouting when you're actually sitting there. Why are we losing? Why are we losing? That kind of thing.
Yep, I agree. I mean, I'm not going to spend much longer talking about it because we kind of do need to. I know it's only one game, and a lot of people are saying, you lot are so negative when you lose one game. But I said this yesterday: we're champions. We should expect to win every game because we're champions. Manchester City unbeaten. Manchester United unbeaten. We're not. We're losing.
Didn't I say this to you when I did this?
Yep.
Why is this? The playback. Anyway, the only games that we don't expect to win. Away and Man United. City away and Man United. Win. And that's win because of the club we are. But I said it at the beginning. That is a question I want to talk about. Are we kicking off way too much for just one shock defeat? Yes, we lost to Man City. Happens. We lost Morata in that game. Still don't think we would have lost if Morata was managed to play the whole game. But might be wrong obviously. But it's just one game. And then we're not saying the whole season is going to shit. We're not saying it's going to be a repeat of the 15-16 season again. We're not saying any of that. We're saying don't sack Conte. We're saying there is issues that can't be resolved now because we can't sign players now. Maybe we can recall some, but they won't do much after Kante's back fit. Until then, different story. But there's not much to do. We're gonna Conte and the team have to figure something out to make it better. Now after defeat, we're talking about a defeat. That's our job on this channel. We're talking about the defeat. We're analysing to the best of our ability. We're analysing what we've seen. We're analysing what people have been saying, and we're giving our responses to it. We're on this channel. People say things. We basically respond. We give our opinions. That's just what we do. We don't sit here and pretend to be pundits. We don't sit there and pretend to be, the successor to Antonio Conte as the Chelsea manager. We don't sit here and, pretend to be the next Roman Abramovich taking over at Chelsea. We just sit here and give our opinions. But if it was a bad game, we have to give the opinion and say it was a bad game. And that's what it was. Some people might be saying, it's all gone down the ship. And maybe, we have to sit here and say the league is possibly gone. But last year we were quite far away. I don't think we will win it because City and United are better than anyone was last year, or as good as we were last year, and no one would have caught us, once we were 10 points gone. So, it is difficult, but we're not saying we're going to finish 10th. We're not saying Conte is going to be gone by November. We're not saying any of that. We're just saying it was a poor performance. We have to, get up and get going, but we still have to figure out why the performance was so bad. You can't just accept that. You can't just say, right, well, shit game. Let's just move on. You have to analyze why you've been bad. And, the team definitely do that. But, at the end of the day, it's kind of our job to do that as well.
Yeah, I agree. We obviously take what we do here seriously. We have an opinion. Redmen TV have an opinion. Arsenal Fan TV have an opinion. Bear Pit TV have an opinion. Everyone has an opinion. It may be wrong or it may be right in your opinion because everyone has different opinions. I disagree with some of the stuff Lauren says, but I agree with some of the stuff Lauren says. He agrees with some of the stuff that I say and vice versa. But we're here, like Lauren said, to analyse a game, whether we win, whether we lose, whether we draw. We said the same thing after Burnley. We said the same thing after City. Said the same thing after drawing 0-0 to Arsenal. We were a lot more lighter once we beat Carabao, when we beat Nottingham Forest, when we beat Stoke. You know, I just think that a lot of people obviously jumping on the bandwagon of Conte out is completely wrong. We don't want to become like an Arsenal of Wenger out. We don't want to become like an Arsenal on a channel. People going, oh yeah, you've got to choose, you've got to be because we're different to Arsenal fans. We are 100% Chelsea. Okay. A lot of people go, no, you're like Arsenal fan TV, you moan too much, blah, 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 blah. Everyone moans. We're voicing your guys' opinions. We get tweets every day. We get messages on Facebook every day of your opinions, and we include them in these chats. It shows that a lot of people are very, very 50-50. There are very some deluded fans on here about saying that they're going to move to City if they see another loss, and there are also some fans that actually want to talk and have a chat about it, which is quite hard for them to do. If I sound funny, by the way, I'm ill. I'm not crying or something. Don't worry.
And you're sad about that?
No, but you're
sad about that.
Yeah, I am. Yeah. No, but in all seriousness, we're here to analyse a game, like Lauren said. Obviously, we're annoyed about the result, but we can only look forward to Roma on Wednesday now. Hopefully, the team we put out is right. But yeah, I haven't really got much else to say. Have you got much else to say, Lawrence?
I mean, obviously, we can talk about Roma. I don't know. Obviously, apparently, Conte said Morata will be back for that. Is that playback for you as well, or is that just to me?
It is to me, yeah.
Why is that?
Well, I don't know. I haven't got a clue. It's not me.
I can't really change it right now. Right, so Morata might actually be back for Roma. I don't know whether he will have to be rushed back for that a lot. You know, I hope not, because if he has to be rushed back, I'm fearing a lot that he will be out for much longer. We'll have to wait and see. But what else is there to say about Roma? I think we have to play David Luiz midfield. That will mean Christensen can play in defence, which then basically makes all of us happy. Then it's just a question, will it be Cahill or Rudiger? Probably will be Cahill, should be Rudiger. But especially because Rudiger played at Roma and knows them a lot better. Main reason why he should be playing against them. But, you know, we can just hope that we perform a lot better. You know, last year, 2 bad defeats. Liverpool, Arsenal. Remember what happened then? 13-match win streak. Not saying that's going to happen this time, but somehow, Conte will think of something. And we believe in him. We believe in Conte. To be honest, 2 years ago, I believed in Mourinho. You know, I did a lot longer than a lot of other people did. I know that. But, you know, I believe in managers, because what's the point in, you know, giving up on your manager? Because it's very similar players to who this underperformed 2 years ago. Very similar. Not all of them, but very similar players. So, you know, it can't just be all the manager. I think he's going to think of something, whether that's going to be against Roma already, whether that's going to be, you know, against Watford, whether that's just going to be against United. At some point, he will come up with something. Will he go back to the 4 at the back? I don't know. I doubt it. I don't know. Will he go 3-5-2? I don't know. But, you know, something will have to change, and I'm confident that something will change. But, you know, might as well finish off.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I think David Luiz should play in midfield. I think we should play Rudiger and Christensen. Whether it's going to happen, I don't know. I mean, I'm not totally against the idea of Cahill playing, because, like you said, he's played decently in the past 3 games. So even if we put Rudiger in and had Aspi at the back and then played Zappacosta, Alonso, hopefully Morata's back. I don't want to rush him into the starting lineup if he's not.
Yeah. Preferably, I think we should, I don't know, either start without a striker or start Batshuayi. And then if we need Morata, which we probably will do, bring him on.
You made me laugh.
Yeah, I get that, but it's different. It's a different, you know, kind of cake playing a Serie A team to playing a Premier League team, because in Ligue 1 he was very good. And Brandon is just with his girlfriend.
Yeah, I'm not gay. Not that there's anything wrong with gay people, but I'm with my girlfriend, who is sitting next to me here. If you've seen, stop pulling my headphones. I can't hear. But yeah, I haven't really got much else to say. So, have you got any much else to say?
No, mate. We're finishing off the dislike party.
Yeah, and I think, should we have a look at how many dislikes we've got?
I think it was like 60 or something. It's quality.
What? Jesus, I didn't think we were that bad.
All right. Yeah. You know,
let's have a look. We have Duh, duh, duh.
The title worked.
Yeah, I think the title gained a lot of people.
But that's the point. I know this is quite long now, but if you're going to watch the whole thing, you know that the title wasn't actually what we mean. It says question mark, not, Conte out, full stop. It says Conte out, question mark. And none of us are Conte out.
We have 66 likes and 67 dislikes.
Like it yourself, so we...
Yeah, I'm liking it. No, right. But yeah.
Do you want to sign off quickly?
I'll sign off. Yeah. So
kind of mentioned some questions. There's people kicking off anyway, so
yeah, I'm not mentioning. I don't think
confusing
questions today.
Yeah.
It's if you guys calm down by the next time that we talk, then we'll do some questions.
Yeah, maybe we shouldn't do as questionable titles. Then people will be less triggered. It was Brandon's idea. Don't blame me.
No, it wasn't. You
it was.
Me in that. I said just put embarrassing in there. Anyway, guys, thank you very much for watching. Sorry if you disagree with us, but yeah.
Make sure you subscribe. Tell us your opinion on YouTube then.
Yeah.
That was a bit mean.
Yeah. Make sure you subscribe to my channel, which is there. I've put in a chat a couple of times, and I said earlier, there will be a Kuna Murata video going up very, very shortly. So make sure you subscribe for that. The series is still going. If you haven't already watched Kuna Murata, it's a series around Alvaro Morata on FIFA, so go and watch it.
Don't tag him off because he hasn't uploaded one in a while. That's just because Morata was injured. Obviously, he can't play when he's injured.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Yeah, that's what it is, yeah. Not the fact that I didn't have FIFA and I only have to buy it today.
Whose FIFA did you play on before then?
I was playing the early access.
Oh, fair.
But yeah, anyway, make sure you check out my Twitter as well. We can have some more conversations if you either agree or disagree with me over there, which is going to be interesting because I get a lot of people disagreeing with me over there because I'm very opinionated. So if you want to have an argument with me on Twitter, go ahead and follow me over there and we can have an argument. And if you don't follow me, then I won't reply to your tweets. Way! But yeah, anyway, guys, thank you very much for watching and I will see you all soon. Peace.
Yeah, same goes for me. Check out my social media, which is Last1507 on Instagram and Twitter. Like Brendan said, check out his channel, check out his social media as well. If you want to, message us, just have a quick chat, disagree, agree with what I said, let me know on social media. I'm always willing to have a chat. Unless you just want to insult me, then, no point. Because then you can just jog on. Because I don't care if people insult me. Because I just don't care. As Conor McGregor would say, just don't give a fuck. And no, my Irish impression isn't very good. But yeah, check out my social media, Last1507 on Instagram and Twitter. Thank you guys for watching. Leave a like if you have enjoyed this stream. If you haven't, well, don't leave a dislike. Leave all of your comments down in the comment section below once this, live stream has become a video. If you're watching this later and when we're not live anymore, leave your comments down in the comment section below. Check out my review from yesterday. Check out the fan cams from yesterday. Subscribe to 100% Chelsea. Thank you guys for watching. Up the Chelsea, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.